Hello and welcome to the Nifty Trader YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be talking about top 5 books on stock market investing. Now these are the books that helped me become a better investor, and I would like to recommend you these 5 books which I consider a great place to start if you want to invest in the stock markets. Now without any delay, let's move to book number 1, The Money Game by Adam Smith. George Goodman was an author best known by his pseudonym Adam Smith. When asked about him, Warren Buffett said, "Jerry, especially in The Money Game, was incredibly insightful, and he knew how to make the pros sing as well. He knew how to put his finger on things that nobody had identified before. Jerry stuck to the facts, but he made them hell of a lot more interesting. He was a great writer." The book was first published in 1968 and is considered way ahead of its time. This is one of the lesser known books on investing. Personally, I picked up this book because Paul Samuelson called it a modern classic, and I must admit he was right. The book has a different approach when compared to other books on investing. It focuses on the psychology behind investing. I've heard Warren Buffett say again and again that value investing is simple but not easy. To be honest, I never understood that before reading this book. Here is a quote that stuck with me from this book. "If you are not automatically applying a mechanical formula, then you are operating in this area of intuition. And if you are going to operate with intuition or judgment, then it follows that the first thing you have to know is yourself. You are, face it, a bunch of emotion, prejudices, and twitches. And this is all very well as long as you know it. A series of market decisions does add up, believe it or not, to a kind of personality portrait. It is, in one small way, a method of finding out who you are. But it can be very expensive. That is one of the cryptograms which are my own. And this is the first irregular rule. If you don't know who you are, this is an expensive place to find out." Book number 2 should not be a surprise for you. The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Honestly, no investing book list would be complete without this book. Considered as one of the best books on value investing, the book begins with a preface from Warren Buffett and ends with this line from Benjamin Graham. "To achieve satisfactory investment results is easier than most people realize. To achieve superior results is harder than it looks." The book was originally published in 1949, and because of this, you may find some things difficult to understand. For this, I would suggest reading Jason Zweig's commentary after each chapter to get the present day context. Most of the times it will help you understand the original content much better. It is to be admitted that Graham, in every right, is the father of value investing. The real money in investing will have to be made, as most of it has been in the past, not out of buying and selling, but out of owning and holding securities, receiving interest and dividends, and benefiting from their long-term increase in value. The intelligent investor is a realist who buys from pessimists and sells to optimists. Book number 3 on this list is Poor Charlie's Almanac, The Wit and Wisdom of Charles T. Munger by Charlie Munger. This book is not a direct investment guide. There is a reason why it is called an almanac and not an autobiography or a guide. I had known about this book for a long time but was too lazy to read it. It was Drew Houston, the co-founder of Dropbox, who kindled my interest in this book. So I picked it up and started reading it. Warren Buffett said Charlie Munger had moved him from buying fair companies at a wonderful price to buying wonderful companies at a fair price. This book probably provides you the greatest insight you can have on the thought process of Charlie Munger. I can sum up the book in one sentence, and that is, be wise, don't fool yourself, and make the right decisions. But I would recommend reading the whole book, as it is another experience. Book number 4, One Upon Wall Street, How to Use What You Already Know to Make Money in the Markets by Peter Lynch. Now comes one of my personal favorites. But before we proceed, let me tell you, the book is a bit specific to Peter Lynch's personal investing style. But that doesn't stop it from being helpful to new investors. What I like about this book is its simplicity. There is a preconceived notion in the minds of people that an average investor cannot compete against institutional investors. Lynch rejects this assumption and says the average person actually has an advantage, as it is him who is in constant touch with the everyday representation of a stock's products. The example he has given to support this is when Lynch took a large long position in the clothing company Gap after his wife and all her friends fell in love with it, and the result was him making a good fortune. The book can be summed up in 3 points. Point number 1, invest fundamentally. Point number 2, know what you own and why you own it. Invest in what you know and not in what's hot. Point number 3, don't believe the professionals. But again, I would suggest reading the complete book to get the full experience. Book number 5 and the last book on this list is Berkshire Hathaway Letters to Shareholders by Warren Buffett. This is actually not a book but a collection of all the annual letters written by Warren Buffett to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders. Now you can either buy this book or read these letters online on the Berkshire Hathaway website, which I will link down in the description. But if you're going to buy the book, remember the book has only letters till 2014. For letters after 2014, you would have to visit the Berkshire Hathaway website. Warren Buffett has himself not written any books. These letters are all we get from him. The best practice that I would suggest is to read one letter a day. What makes these letters great is that these letters start from 1965 and you can clearly see Warren Buffett's thought process while he was building Berkshire Hathaway. In a 2010 interview with Becky Quick of CNBC, Warren Buffett said the dumbest stock he ever bought was Berkshire Hathaway. Now this came as a shock to me. I was surprised because Berkshire Hathaway was his company and he made all his fortune through that company. After knowing this, it was quite interesting to see how he turned his biggest mistake of buying Berkshire Hathaway into his biggest success. Now these letters will require repetitive reading and constant thinking. You may agree or disagree on certain things, but the most important thing is that you have to understand what Warren Buffett is trying to say. Now the list ends. Go ahead and start with any book that you like. I would suggest go to the Berkshire Hathaway website and start with the letters. And then if you find them interesting, move ahead to other books. If you think I missed a book, please mention them in the comment below. That is all for this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.